Welcome. My name is Merle Whitney, and for this tutorial, we're going to be using the App Starter to show how you can make a mobile application, even if you're not familiar with HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. In later lessons, we will be learning how to code using raw HTML5 and JavaScript, and style our apps using CSS. The first thing that we need to do for this tutorial is to come up with an idea for an application. Try to think of an application that solves a problem. For our example, we're going to say that we might have a tourist that's not familiar with our beaches in Barbados. So we want to create an app that will say something about our beaches and show our beaches to tourists. When you are learning to write apps for the first time, you might want to look through some app stores and try to emulate simpler versions of some common applications. As you can see, we have our app screen in front of us, and we're going to be using the App Starter for this tutorial. We want to click on Use App Starter. Next, we have to type a name for the app. So we're going to call the app Beaches. And we're going to click on Create. Congratulations, you have created a project. We do not need to take the quick tour, so we're going to say no thanks. And what is presented to us is the work area of our screen. For the App Starter, the first screen begins with a Hello World. We don't need that button, so we're going to delete it. Click on the button and you're going to see the property window open on the right hand side, and we're going to delete that button. Confirm. The next thing we want to do is to populate our screen. We're going to start with the first page here, which is our main page. As you can see, the main page has a title. We're going to delete main and type the word Barbados Beaches. We're going to leave the ID as the main, and we're going to leave the default footer, and we'll come and modify that later on. The first thing that we want to do here is to click on our Elements tab. The Elements tab consists of a layout section, a form section, and a media section. We're going to go into the layout section, and we're going to drag a container onto the screen. If you look on the right hand side, you will see that the properties of the container is right now width 100. We want to stretch that container, so we're going to type in the CSS code for height. 100%. And notice that I'm ending the CSS code with a semicolon. And we click apply. We have width 100%, height 100%, and click on apply. The next thing we want to do is to drag out an image tag here. So we're going to take the image tag and we're going to drag it out on the screen. Now here on the right hand side, you have to type the title, the source, the width, and the height. But images will not show up in your XDK unless you actually have put the images in your XDK folder. Now the name of our app that we created will be called Beaches. So we're going to go and look for the images that we need to use for this app, and we are going to put them inside the beaches folder. So we're going to minimize the app, open the app dev folder, and we want 3 beaches. We want the Barbados Beach, Brandon's Beach, and Rockley Beach. We're going to copy those beaches, and we're going to put them inside of our beaches folder. Right click and paste. Close the dialog box and we open back up our XDK. Now, in the working files area, we want to right click and say refresh file 3. And we can see the beaches, Barbados Beach, Brandon's Beach, Rockley Beach. So let's go ahead and type the title for the first image. The first image that we want to use is called Barbados. So we're going to call the title Barbados. And the source will be the name of the beach. And if you could look to the left-hand side, we see barbados.jpg, and that's what we're going to put for the source. Then we want to put the width and the height. We're going to put the width as 298 px and the height as 200 and click apply. The next thing we want to do is to bring a text element on the screen. And whenever you change the width and the height for the image properties, go to image styles and do the same. So we're going to actually come back here to width and put 298 for the width and 200 for the height. And click apply. Now we want to bring out the text control here. So we're going to click on text and we're going to drag it to the screen. And here you can type what you want your text to be. And we're going to say, welcome to Barbados. We're going to type, welcome to Barbados. Now, we want to put some style onto the text. So we're going to come into the text style box and we want to change the font size of welcome to Barbados. So we're going to enter the CSS code font size. And we're going to say 20 px. We also want to change the color to blue. And we want to change the style to cursive. So we're going to say font family. Cursive. And we're going to click apply. Now we want the welcome to Barbados to come down the screen a bit. So we want to put in some breaks before welcome to Barbados. So back up in the text property box, we're going to put a break, a BR, which is going to give us a line. And once we do one, we can always copy and paste so that we can get another one. And let's click apply and see how far that went down. We also want to center welcome to Barbados. So we want to add a text align. Center, CSS code, and click apply and see that Welcome to Barbados moves in the center. Since this is our main page, we think we can make that picture a bit bigger so that it stretches down the screen a bit more. So let's change the width and the height to percent and say 100% maybe for the width. So we go 100% for the width, and for the height we could probably put 75% and apply. There is that, a little bit longer, and we're actually going to make the change in the image style box. So we go again 100% for the width and 75% for the height, and we apply. Welcome to Barbados. Let's see if we can change that size to 30. See how big it fills up the screen. Welcome to Barbados. And I guess we can take out a break so that the space between the picture and the words not that great. So let's apply and see how that goes. Okay, so now we have our screen. We have the picture and we have Welcome to Barbados. The next thing we want to do is to create another page. We're going to have a Brandon's page and a Rockley page. On the Brandon's page, we're going to have the Brandon's Beach, and the Rockley page, we're going to have the Rockley Beach. So we want to go back to pages here, and we want to add another page by clicking on the plus sign. We now have our new page, and we said that we want our first page here to be Brandon's page. So we're going to give a title, Brandon's Beach. We're going to leave the page ID at 1, and we're going to leave our footer also for the default footer. We'll come back later and we'll change the footer. And we want to do the same thing that we did for the first page. So what we want to do is to click on the Elements tab and bring the layout out. The width is already 100, so we want to put the height to 100. Apply so that you can see that our container stretches over the whole page. Now we want to get the Brandon's Beach picture. So we're going to get the image tag, pull it out onto the working area, and now we have to give a title for the image. We're going to call the image Brandon's Beach, and the source, we're actually going to type the name of the beach. For our width, for this beach, we're going to give the width 298 px for the width and 200 px for the height, and apply. Come down in the image style box and we're going to repeat that 298 and 200. And apply. Now, since this is the Brandon's Beach, we want to get some text to add to the bottom of the page. right under the beach. So we get the text element and drag it out, and our text go here. Now we're going to go look for some text for Barbados Beach. So we're going to minimize the XDK again. Going to open our folder, and we're going to open Notepad document, and we're going to copy some text. I'm going to go back into the XDK. I'm going to paste the text right here in the text properties box. And we're going to click apply. So that's our text. We need to style the text a bit. We need to put some paragraphs in the text, and we need to push it a bit more down on the screen. So we're going to put a paragraph tag just before open. That's a P tag. And just after the full stop in diversity. Notice that we have an open and a closing paragraph tag. Let's click apply and see what we get. Okay. Now we want to probably push the text down a bit. So we're going to go just before the P tag and probably just put a break. We type BR and apply. Right, we're now ready to do the third page, which is the Rockley page. So we're going to go back to pages, and we're going to add a new page. Click on new page, and the title of the page is going to be Rockley Beach. We're going to type Rockley Beach. Again, we're going to come back to the footer a little later. We now want to go ahead and we want to bring in our container, just like we did in the first two pages. And we want to put the height to 100%. Then click apply. We want to bring in the image tag here. And we're doing Rockley Beach, so we want to put the title as Rockley Beach. Again, we look for the name rocklybeach.jpg and we put it as the source. The width and the height is going to be the same as Barbados Beach. So we're going to give that 298 for the width. And we're going to type 200 for the height. Click apply and make the changes down in the image style box also. It's 298, 200, and click apply. Next, we want to go for the text element. So we drag the text element out from the screen, and we want to get some text for the Rockley Beach. So we're going to minimize. We're going to go back into our folder, and we're going to look for text for Rockley Beach. We're going to copy it, go back in the XDK, and we're going to paste it right here in the text properties box. Let's apply and see what we get. Again, we want to place a paragraph so that there's a new paragraph at waves. So we're going to do the P tag, which is the paragraph tag, right before this beach and right after jewelry. There you go. And apply. So we have the text at the bottom of the picture on top. So now we have 3 pages. The first one is Barbados Beaches, which is the Bass Rocks picture. The second is the Barbados Beach, and the third is the Rocky Beach. Now, right now we are in design mode. To the left of the screen, you can toggle between the code mode. As you can see here, this is all the code for what we have put in, and this is what we're actually going to be doing later, writing code. Go back into the design mode, and we need now to put some tags at the bottom that would help us to go to each of these pages when we emulate the app. So let's start first with the first page, the Barbados Beaches. Now, if you look to the right-hand side, you will see that there's a default footer. This default footer has on it already an icon marked home, as you can look and see at the bottom of the screen. We want to add two other icons to the footer so that we'll be able to move to the other two pages. So we're going to click on the nav tag, and we are going to edit the default footer. Right now, the first page of the default footer says home, the icon is house, and the page is Barbados Beaches. So we're going to add another entry here that's going to let us go to the Brandon's page. So I'm going to type on the home, Brandon's Beach. And for the icon, I am going to go and look for a right icon to use for that. And here, when I click Barbados Beaches, I get to choose Brandon's Beach because that's the page that we want. Then I'm going to go to the third entry here, and I'm going to type Rocky Beach. And I'm also going to add the right icon because we want to use that to click on for the Rocky Beach. And here you're going to click on Barbados and you're going to choose Rocky Beach. You want now to click Apply. So we have home, Brandon's Beach, Rocky Beach. Right now, we want to go to code so that we can save our changes. File, save all. Go back to the design mode. We see home, Brandon's, Rocky. We want now to go to the Brandon's page. And you can see that the Brandon's page also has a default footer with the three icons, home, Brandon's Beach, and Rocky Beach. Then we want to go to the third page, which is the Rocky Beach. But for this page, we want to make a change. We're actually going to add another footer here. I click the plus sign by footer. And the new footer is called footer 1. We can change the name if we want to. And we're going to add here the information for footer 1. So for the home page, we want the Barbados Beaches page. For the second page, the same as we had for the last footer, that's going to be Brandon's Beach. And for Brandon's Beach here, instead of putting a right icon, we want to put a left icon. Come here, select Brandon's Beach. For the third entry, we're doing Rocky Beach. And we are going to put back the right icon for this one, and we're going to choose Rocky Beach, and we're going to click apply. We're going back to pages here, and for the Rocky Beach, we don't want the default footer, we want the footer 1, and apply. Go back to code, file, save all. Next, we want to click on emulate, and we want to choose the phone that we want to use, and right now we're going to leave it with the Apple iPhone 4S, and let's test it. This is our first page. Welcome to Barbados. Brandon's Beach. We click on Brandon's Beach. It should carry us to the Brandon's Beach page. Rocky Beach. That should carry us to the Rocky Beach page. Click back on the Brandon's. There you go, Brandon's. And home. It is the main page. That is our tutorial for the app starter for this session.